Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. Good morning everybody. It is a surprisingly warmer day on the farm here, and we got a storm coming up behind me, and it's currently 8 o'clock in the morning. I had an issue with the well pump. The breaker kept kicking out, so had to look at that. Bad breaker, bad wire going to the well, but that's getting fixed right now. In the meantime, I am going to be hauling out manure in the barnyard out here. I'm going to be trying to haul out a couple loads around the bed pack because it's been particularly messy this spring and I'm having a hard time getting in and out of these lots, so I want to clean up as much as I can now during the spring when I could still haul it out into the field versus the summer when I have more time, but I don't have as many places to haul the manure to. So we brought the 4020 out last night. I've got the JCB down here. I hauled out 2 loads so that I could get the 4020 back down into the lot. So we're going to start pecking away at the bed pack to try to get it back down to that gravel base that I had put down last year. And I might also take a few loads out of the entry to the steer lot over here because I want to put down a couple loads of gravel going down into there because that got ripped up pretty bad this spring as well. The winter itself isn't real bad, but it's when we get into this muddy mess stuff, that's when I start to worry about the cows because it's harder for them to get around, and it's harder for the JCB to get around too and get into there and feed cows. So I'm gonna haul out a couple loads while it's still dry, and they're calling for rain tonight. Particularly bad storms, but we'll see if anything comes of that. Got our fingers crossed for not, but we'll see. So what do you say we get started? I could be wrong, but I think old Betty over here is starting to calve. I need to go have a closer look at her. When I was hauling out these 2 loads last night, she did not want to leave this lot, so I just left her in there. She's probably my most tame cow anyway. I won't try to disturb her a lot. Well, that should be enough to discourage her from leaving. But even if she did, not too worried about her. She's my calm one. Let's take this first load out. Well, that's about all we're going to get hauled out for today. I estimate that we have about roughly half of the manure pack to haul out yet, which is more than I thought we were going to get done today. I was planning on doing some work over in the steer lot, but I've got to working on this. It's like, you know, it'd be best to get as much of this hauled out this spring as possible so I can have more room for the rest of it later on in the year. But yeah, we got half of it left to go, so that'll, you know, whenever I get to that, it'll happen. But we've got a few things working against us. The wind's picking up, so it's starting to rain, and I don't want to be driving out in the field if it's starting to get wet out. And the JCB is out of fuel, and my tank in the machine shed is also out of fuel. So I'm gonna have to load that tank up into the truck with the JCB and go fill it up over at the farm, bring it back when I get a chance. But we're gonna haul this last load out to the 11 acres, and then I'm just gonna go back to the farm and unhook the spreader back to 4020 in the shed. Since they are calling for a storm, severe storms tonight, I'd like to get everything inside. Day 2 of hauling manure. That storm that was supposed to come through the last night that we were hauling turned out to be a big fat nothing burger, which, I mean, was great. Unfortunately, the next day, yesterday, we did have a pretty bad windstorm come through. A sheet of tin peeled up on the pole shed. I had to reinforce the far door on the machine shed down in the corner because a post from the inside somehow during the wind, I don't know if it was shaking the shed that bad or what, fell onto the door, broke out the bottom. There's a little piece that sticks out to hold the door in place so that the wind doesn't get a hold of the door and pull it out. Yeah, and that post fell and the door was sticking out at like a 45-degree angle. So I reinforced that with some wood last night, and I took the fuel tank over to the farm, filled it up with fuel, filled the JCB up because that's the reason I actually quit the other night. I ran out of fuel, and I've got about half the pile and the barnyard cleaned up. I decided that I really want to get this done this spring so I don't have to come back later on in the year and clean it up. I'm probably gonna have to come through at some point and, you know, just clean up whatever mess the cows make in there in the meantime before we get them kicked out to the pasture, but I'll deal with that when the time comes. Now I think is probably the best time to get all this manure hauled out, and we want to start planting soon, so I really want to, you know, get this done. We're taking this load out to the 11 acres. I've been hauling out to my hay field over there. I've been trying to spread it real light. I've been driving in 7th gear, just trying to, you know, broadcast it as much as I possibly can without going in road gear, and it's working out pretty well so far. I'm gonna have to take the harrow out. There's one big area, or not one big area, one small area with a big chunk that basically the manure just kind of spat out of the spreader and didn't get hit by the beaters at all. And I want to take the harrow out and just kind of run it over that field to break up any of those larger chunks and spread it out just a little bit more. But overall, I'd say it's doing a pretty good job at, you know, broadcasting the manure and not leaving any big chunks out there. But I think that's also helped because I'm not loading the spreader as full as I can possibly get it. I'm trying to keep it not, you know, about spreader height. I don't want to mount it up too much because then you get that situation where the manure just kind of spits out the back of the spreader instead of getting beat up. So we're gonna head down the road now. Let's keep going. Well, I put as many loads as I'm comfortable putting on this field. I'm just trying to spread it real lightly, not really trying to hurt the alfalfa if I can help it, but I'd like to get all this manure hauled out. And yeah, there's always going to be some harm driving over the alfalfa early in season like this, but I don't think it'll really be detrimental. After that little bit of rain that we got after I had spread that up there, I mean, you can't even hardly tell that I spread manure up there. It's pretty well all beaten down. And the alfalfa is coming up really nice. It was down in the 30s this morning and it's still pretty bitter out, but the alfalfa's coming up. It's coming. I'm probably going to take a couple loads out to the 40 and spread on the grass out there. And if I don't feel like I can haul any more out there, or if it takes too long because it's too far away, honestly, hauling out here for this much was kind of a stretch. Things are really going a lot slower today because I've hauled primarily out here. I might just keep hauling onto the strips at the farm, even though I've spread on all that already. If we go through and chisel it, that'll help a lot. I was trying to spread kind of light because I felt like going in 5th gear we would be able to get away with just VTing it, but if we are going to chisel those strips in, then I feel a lot more comfortable hauling more manure on them. Let's head back and keep on hauling manure. We're getting there. It's now 20 after 1 in the morning, and we just finished cleaning up the barnyard. I'm gonna go in and get cleaned up. By the time I hit the bed, it should be about 2 o'clock, which isn't unusual. Usually I'm up until around 2 o'clock the days before I have to post a video, just getting it ready and editing the video and whatnot. So I didn't completely clean up the barnyard. There's still bits and pieces here and there that could be cleaned up, but given the time of day it is and the fact that the cows are still going to be let into the barnyard, there's no really any sense in really cleaning it up for the year. until the cows are put out. You know, if I want to come back this summer and tidy up, then that's when I'll do it. But I got the bulk of it done and hauled out, and that's what I wanted. So I'll show you guys what it looks like in the morning and wrap this video up. I'll see you then. That's a good job done. That's about all the time we have for today. Now it's time to move on to newer, greater things like seeding oats and alfalfa, and then eventually planting corn and beans. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All How Farms Work. And with that, I'll see you next time.